Hello there, we are here at the Festival of Marketing and we have with us Miss Sunita Bangard. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us here. Pleasure having you here. I want to ask you a set of questions revolving around marketing industry, one of which is what do you think about this year's budget spend when we factor in the global economic slowdown? We know that India is showing resistance and reports are calling it we are the bright spot. What do you expect in FY24? How is the ad spending will look like?
So, my role at Aditya Birla Group is really managing the brands across the group. So, different industries, different categories are at different levels of maturity and growth. And I do see that there would be some adjustment that might happen. May not be for all categories, maybe for some categories. But at the group, we believe that you need to invest behind brands, and therefore ideally that is not a spend that we would like to cut. Having said that, we always look forward to the season, which for our retail business will start very soon in third quarter and fourth quarter. So looking at the trends, I think we will be able to maintain our spends, but you might see a little bit of adjustment happening if we don't manage to capitalize on the season as we are expecting it to be.
Right. When we talk about digital, which has become the main line now, in terms of growth, TV also grew and print also grew last year. But going forward in FY24, what do you expect in the growth of TV and specifically print media when you consider digital taking a lot of penetration into the areas of other two channels?
So I think in India, TV ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And year on year, we keep saying digital is going to overtake TV, but TV is here to stay. And it is the cheapest cost per reach when you look at a medium. So I don't think TV is going anywhere. And it's not just TV for TV's sake. Now you have TV connected with digital. So therefore, as a combined, you have connected TV, that's an option.
Yep.
You have a lot of MarTech that's happening where you can watch on TV, get the ad actually delivered on digital and vice versa. So I think these two channels vehicles are really going to grow. As far as print is concerned, I think again print plays a role for certain categories and it again will not go anywhere. But looking at the way outdoor is actually getting innovative, I would say print would take a little bit of a backseat. And to me, the growth will be digital, TV, outdoor, and then print to some extent.
So, in the age of AI, we are already there and it's impacting each sector. When you think about marketing, how do you figure marketers in the times to come? We are hearing some chatter that marketers might become redundant in the age of AI. What is your viewpoint on that?
Marketers aren't going anywhere, and I don't think they're going to become redundant for a long time to come. And I would imagine that the same chatter would have happened when the internet was launched. It was becoming redundant with the advent of AI, and I'm sure the chatter would have been the same when internet was sort of becoming the rage and disruptive medium at some point in time way back. What I really feel is that AI might help doing some of the work which is more repetitive in nature. But you still need the human factor to come in and spend more time on doing more creative things. So I really don't see that technology will overtake the human aspect, especially in marketing, where you really need to understand, you need to have more empathy with the consumers and deliver surprise. So I think we will come to a stage where AI and marketing will be a force for good together, and not that one will take over the role of the other person.
But there will be some job losses when you think about repetitive tasks.
I would say people will have to upskill themselves to be able to use AI and take it forward. So for example, creative people, will get ideas from the AI world, but then how to craft it. You still need that skill and you still need that human intervention. So I just feel that people will upskill themselves. I don't see jobs going away. I think newer jobs will come into the place, and to me it is actually all moving positively for the betterment of this function, and I don't see one taking over, like I said.
What are some of the trends that in the marketing sector that are keeping you awake at night, that drive you?
I think really, with this explosion of data, understanding people, not by numbers, but the whys behind the numbers. And I think what's happening is that people are getting totally overwhelmed with the amount of data that we have. I mean, the numbers are mind-boggling, but nobody is actually to say what numbers are actually important, what numbers are not, what is the why behind those numbers. And I think somewhere we're losing some of that richness because we're going very, very hard-nosed into rational data crunching and numbers that are happening. So I really think that if people use the data, apply the human insight to it, and then take actions which are more consumer centric in nature, that to me would be a best solution. But I think we move from no data to a lot of data, and we're kind of confused what to use and what to not use, and somewhere we're missing the human touch is what I feel.
When it comes to sanctity of data, what is that like? What is the larger belief that around that in marketing?
That is actually a very good question, because it's at two ends of the spectrum. You know, one is privacy of data and what are we doing with that data, and the second thing is where are we sourcing that data from. There is a lot of spam that happens as a result of this data, and I think it is about where is your source. I mean, do you have first party data? Do you have rich first party data for which you can then use and apply other elements and, you know, further enhance the data quality? Sometimes I think we just go blindly into saying just let's buy data, let's just understand data. So I think sanctity of data is what due diligence are we doing? How are we checking this data? Are we really maintaining privacy of the data and using it appropriately? I think those are things that we have to really find some sort of a medium, because I think from having nothing, we're in a world where we have so much of information because all consumers are leaving digital footprints. So therefore there is enough and more data. But what data to use, how to use, when to use, and in what manner is it going to be relevant for the consumer? I think that framework is something that marketers should be looking at more seriously, rather than just taking data for data's sake and you know, averaging out everything that they're doing.
The last question that I have for you is, what is the advice that you want to give to the young marketers who will be looking at this video? What is the understanding that you want to give out of the industry? What should they be looking out for?
So I think what I would like to say is that with the new, don't forget the old. Okay, I think fundamentals of marketing are not changing, but the tools that we have, the support system that we have is now changing. So I think it is about upskilling yourself, not forgetting the core, applying the core with newer data, with newer techniques, with chat GPT, AI, etc., to not forget that all of this is actually for the consumers at the end of the day. So that and everything should be keeping them in mind, what's relevant, how much is relevant, and when it is relevant. I think those aspects of marketing don't change. It's just more cherries on the cake, as I would say, but the cake still is very important.
Well, that's quite optimistic. Thank you so much, Ms. Bangard, for joining us here. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much. Launched.